It's now the international break and we won't see the boys in action until the 29th. We will continue to discuss the fallout from the Glasgow derby, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours, which includes the winger who is currently on Celtic's radar. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Following Brendan Rodgers' praise of Mike Nawrocki, Cameron Carter-Vickers has also heaped praise on the Polish defender after his first start of the season in Sunday's Glasgow derby. Thrown into the starting 11 out of nowhere, Nawrocki had barely featured all season, but was forced to step up due to injuries to Liam Scales and Austin Trusty. Despite the disruptions in Celtic's backline, the 24-year-old put in a solid shift, earning the backing of both his manager and teammates. Speaking about Nawrocki's performance, Carter-Vickers said, "The national, I think Mike Nawrocki done well. I thought he had a good game, he was solid enough, won most of his duels. Like I said, second half, I don't think Rangers created much. I think they had the counter-attack from our corner. I think Luke McCowan got the block on that. And obviously the goal at the end, apart from that, second half, I don't think they had much." With Scales and Trusty still doubts for the coming weeks, Nawrocki could be set for a run in the team post-international break. Trusty, who was expected to start against Rangers, was a shock absentee from the squad and has since withdrawn from international duty with the USA due to a calf issue. Scales, meanwhile, is still recovering from a cheekbone injury, with the possibility of requiring surgery. That leaves Nawrocki in contention to keep his place when Celtic face Hearts at Parkhead after the break. For a player who has had minimal game time this season, his performance in a high-pressure derby was commendable, and Carter-Vickers' words only reinforced that he could play a key role in the title run-in. Now, for the main story, as Celtic are reportedly keeping tabs on highly rated Nantes winger Guirassy, with the Hoops set to battle Leeds United for his signature this summer. According to Le Républicain Sportif, the 18-year-old is attracting serious interest after breaking into the Nantes first team this season. Guirassy has made 15 senior appearances, scoring 3 goals after a standout campaign for Nantes' youth side, where he netted 24 times in 36 games. Guirassy made his League One debut against Toulouse last August and has since impressed since. His performances have reportedly caught the attention of Celtic scouts, as the club continues to identify emerging talent from across Europe. Despite being under contract until 2028, it is believed that a bid of around €10 million could convince Nantes to sell. This would represent a significant investment for Celtic, who are expected to bolster their attacking options in the summer. Guirassy fits the profile of player Celtic have targeted in recent years, a young, dynamic winger with high potential resale value. The Hoops have successfully developed players like Jota and Liel Abada, and Guirassy could follow a similar path should he make the move to Glasgow. His age means that there is still a lot of potential in him, and could see Celtic secure a profit on years to come. Celtic could face stiff competition, especially if the English club secures promotion to the Premier League, which looks almost certain. While it remains to be seen if Celtic will make a concrete bid, Guirassy is certainly one to watch as the summer transfer window approaches. In other news, Chris Sutton has criticised Václav Cerny for his actions during Sunday's Glasgow derby, after the Rangers winger sprayed water at Celtic fans while celebrating his side's late winner. Cerny ran down the touchline of the main stand to celebrate Igamane's goal and was seen spraying water towards the Celtic support in the main stand. The SFA and Police Scotland are now investigating the incident, with calls growing for Cerny to face punishment for his actions. He could face up to an 8-game ban for his actions. Speaking to the Daily Record, Sutton condemned Cerny's actions, pointing out that players are warned not to incite the crowd before these matches. Václav Cerny squirting Celtic fans with his water bottle, that was just silly. Look, it's only water, but Rangers and Celtic players are warned going into these games not to incite the crowd. There was just no need for it. It just invited all kinds of trouble, even if that is no real excuse for bad behaviour in the stands. We're trying to get back to having away fans regularly involved in this fixture, as it does add to the occasion. But we're repeatedly seeing incidents of missiles being thrown, fireworks and flares going off and other carry-on. We don't need players adding to the mayhem. The game sells itself. Sunday was a sensational football match, and it would have had viewers captivated all over the world. It pretty much always is. We don't need any more nonsense. With the SFA and police now investigating, there is a real possibility Cerny could face disciplinary action. If the roles were reversed and a fan had squirted a player with water, there's little doubt they would be ejected from the stadium or even charged. There have been growing discussions about player behaviour and sportsmanship, and this kind of incident crosses a line. While some may downplay it as just water, the fact remains that professional footballers should be held to the same standards as fans when it comes to conduct at matches. Whether Cerny will face punishment remains to be seen, but his actions were completely unnecessary, and it's no surprise that Sutton and others have called him out for it. In other news, Chris Sutton has taken aim at Rangers' reaction to their derby victory at Celtic Park, branding it over the top and embarrassing given their current position in the league. Rangers secured their first league win at Celtic Park since 2020, but despite the victory, they remain 13 points behind Celtic, are out of the League Cup after losing to Celtic in the final, and crashed out of the Scottish Cup to Queen's Park. Yet, according to Sutton, the on-pitch celebrations and social media antics from Rangers players suggest they had just won the Champions League rather than a single league game. Writing in his daily record column, Sutton ridiculed the wild celebrations from the Rangers squad, questioning their lack of perspective after what has been a hugely disappointing domestic season for them. Rangers might not do walking away, but they certainly do getting carried away. You'd be forgiven for thinking they'd won the Champions League at Celtic Park on Sunday given the way they celebrated. Don't get me wrong, Rangers deserved to win. It was an impressive display, especially on the back of getting through to the Europa League last 8 against Fenerbahce. But come off it, they walked off the pitch still 13 points behind Celtic in the Premiership. If we did that under Martin O'Neill, he'd have had us straight up the tunnel and doing laps around Barrowfield all week. To be giving it the big one in front of their supporters on Sunday was some brass neck. It was only a few weeks ago the same fans were baying for blood. I know the result and performance meant something. I'm not being a killjoy, they deserve some bit of light after a horrendous domestic season, but have a bit of perspective. It goes back to what I've been saying most of this campaign. Rangers are a decent side, but they have been mentally weak, and it's shown in some of their results. I'd have been kicking myself at full time at the thought of beating Celtic twice in 3 games and still being so far back, certainly not celebrating. While Rangers celebrate an isolated victory, Celtic's focus remains firmly on the league title, which they can now only officially clinch after the split. Sutton's comments show the difference in mentality between the two clubs. For Celtic, winning trophies is the standard, not a rare occasion to celebrate wildly. But that's become the norm for the Ibrox club over the past 3 seasons. Celtic have won a treble and a double, while they look to secure yet another treble this season. Celtic fans, what are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comments section below. That does bring us to the end of today's video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you.